This is English Made Simple Sentences 1. I'm Teacher Steve, and this is Beyond English, Unlocking the Power of Language, and we're going to do our series on sentences. Sentences 1 is, what is a sentence? The 4 types of sentences, and what's the difference between a complete sentence and a fragmented sentence? Let's get into it. We're going to do a 4-video series on sentences because it's an important part of the English language. Video 1, we're going to look at what is a sentence, what is a sentence fragment, phrases and clauses, what are the 4 types of sentences. Then in video 2, we'll look at subject, verb, object, sentence structure, along with variations of that, such as sentences without an object and single word sentences. And then in video 3, we'll look at subjects and predicates, along with active and passive voice. And then video 4, we'll look at combining sentences and the topic of compound subjects and predicates. Let's get into video 1. What is a sentence? Okay, a definition is, a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. In simple English, that means a sentence makes sense on its own, needs no other sentences, no other words to clarify what it means. An example, I am going to school. This is a full sentence, it expresses a complete thought, and it makes sense on its own. You need no other details to understand what it means. What is a sentence fragment? Well, a fragment is part of something, so a sentence fragment is simply a part of a sentence. It's a group of words that does not express a complete thought, and they don't make sense on their own. Let's have a look at an example. Standing in the rain. Okay, so this is a group of words. It sort of makes sense, but it doesn't make sense on its own. Standing in the rain. Who was standing in the rain? Why were they standing in the rain? What happened when they were standing in the rain? So this is unfinished. It doesn't express a complete thought, and it doesn't make sense on its own. So that's a sentence fragment. It's part of a sentence and doesn't make sense when it stands alone. There are 4 main types of sentences in the English language. I will give you the academic term along with a common English term that explains what they do, and it's probably easy for you to remember. Number 1 is a declarative sentence. This is a statement. It is very hot today. I am tired. So the first type of sentence is a declarative sentence or a statement. Number 2 is an interrogative sentence or a question. Where are you going? What are you doing? So number 2 is an interrogative sentence or a question. Number 3, this is an imperative sentence. This is where you tell someone to do something. It's a command or a request. Take an umbrella because it is raining. Sit here. Eat up. Okay, these are imperative sentences which tell someone to do something. So they're commands, directions, or requests. And the last one is an exclamatory sentence. This is where you show strong feelings and use an exclamation mark when writing it. I can't believe we won today. This is so exciting. Okay, so the 4 types of sentences are a declarative sentence or statement, an interrogative sentence or question, an imperative sentence, which is a command or a direction, and an exclamatory sentence. This is one which shows strong feeling and is marked by an exclamation. Now let's have a look at 2 types of sentence fragments, phrases and dependent clauses. Okay, so what is a phrase? Well, a phrase is a group of words that give meaning, but they do not have a subject and a verb, so it can't be a complete sentence. Let's have a look at some examples. In the classroom, the big red ball, running fast. In each case, these do not express a complete thought. They are words that have meaning, but they don't express a complete thought and they don't make sense on their own. Standing alone, they don't make sense. They're just random groups of words. So they add meaning and detail, but they don't express a complete thought. So that's what a phrase is. It's a group of words that gives meaning, but it doesn't have a subject and a verb, so it's not a complete sentence. So what is a dependent clause? Well, let's start off by looking at what is a clause. A clause is a group of words that has a subject, that's who or what, and a verb, that's the action that who or what does. Sometimes the clause can be a full sentence. This is called an independent clause because it makes sense on its own. When it stands alone, it makes sense. It's a complete thought. And sometimes it cannot be a full sentence. This is a dependent clause because it depends on further details to express a complete thought or make sense on its own. So, when a clause is a full sentence, it's called an independent clause. And when it's not a full sentence, it's called a dependent clause. A dependent clause cannot be a full sentence because it doesn't make sense on its own. Let's have a look at an example. The dog barked. This is a full sentence. It expresses a complete thought. So it's an independent clause, makes sense on its own. Now, if we add the word because the dog barked, now it's a dependent clause. It's not a full sentence. We need some further details for it to make sense. Because the dog barked, what happened? Needs something else so it makes sense. Therefore, it's a dependent clause. It depends on more details. Okay, let's wrap up and summarize what we did in this video. A sentence must express a complete thought, must make sense on its own. There are 4 types of sentences: a statement, a declarative sentence, a question, interrogative sentence, a directional command, an imperative sentence, and an exclamation, an exclamatory sentence. A sentence fragment is part of a sentence that doesn't express a complete thought on its own. It needs further details. And the 2 types of sentence fragments we covered were phrases and dependent clauses. Okay, that's it for Sentences 1, our first video in the English Made Simple series. I'm Teacher Steve. This is Beyond English, Unlocking the Power of Language. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have something worthwhile to say. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video when we'll be looking at the subject, verb, object, sentence structure, along with variations. Bye-bye. Chat soon.